It makes it sound like a two-stroke dirt bike. Hi, people of the online community of car review watchers. Welcome to this Mike Wazowski looking mobile. It is a 2023 Genesis GV60 Performance. And yes, that performance means this thing absolutely rips, but we'll get to that in a minute. First, we're gonna get this EV up into the air. We're gonna nerd out on the tech specs, see how it is constructed, and then we'll give it the E-beans. Okay. Oh, that's pretty. That's an adorable little reverse light. Neat. It's taking every bit of self-control I have right now to not throw a 10 mil in my Milwaukee and pull that rear panel off, see what the motor looks like. I want to so desperately. I have to see. Oh yeah. Just a quick peek, okay? Look, you see where the coolant lines come in to cool the electric motor. It's like a little, I don't know, manifold heat exchanger pack right there. It's got some foam for noise reduction and insulation possibly. It's got massive motor mounts. Look at this, it's like the size of sports balls. Well look, you can get a better look at it on this side. It's actually bolted to the motor. It's like a little, like a torque damper, it almost looks like, because it's soft mounted right here. It's hard mounted to the motor though, so it's rigid, but it's always better to act now and beg for forgiveness later, as I always say. There, good as new. The GV60 has a 5-link, multi-link rear suspension. The knuckle and the spring bucket are aluminum. I think that's forged, at least the knuckle is. Everything else up here is stamped steel. It's fully boxed. The uppers are fully boxed. As far as the rear anti-sway bar goes, it's rather long. That measures in only 17 millimeter. It's kind of tiny diameter. What in the dead Muppet stuffed animal is going on here? It's soft. It's got a furry microfiber cover on the electrical wiring. That's gonna get dirty, so I need to take that off and wash it. The Genesis GV60 is built on Hyundai Kia's eGMP chassis, which shares it with the Ioniq 5, 6, and Kia EV6. This one in particular weighs in at 4,762 pounds. 1,056 pounds of that is in the 77.4 kilowatt hour battery pack alone. Good job, Genesis, on making it easy to get on a lift. The side skirts do not protrude downward from where the pinch weld is at. This is usually the part where I talk about the transmission, however, EV. So it has an integrated drive module containing the power inverter, the electric motor, and the single speed gear reduction. 1-speed transmission, I guess, if you will, incorporated into that, and also has a electronic rear limited slip differential. And because this all-wheel drive performance model has no physical mechanical connection between front and rear drive units, it can vary the bias of how much rear wheel drive you want it. If you want 100% rear drive in certain situations, it's capable of that. Up front, GV60 has a McPherson strut style front suspension, all of which is constructed out of aluminum. I love the color of that São Paulo lime overspray in the wheel well. That just looks cool. Front anti-sway bar measures in at only 22 millimeter. Just looking at that makes me want to go om nom nom nom. It's time for the braking test. Anyone behind me? Ready? Oh shit. Ooh, wow. That felt like it was digging in the ground. I felt it shimmy, like it was actually digging with the front tires. That was wild. You can tell there's a lot of mass to bring to a stop though. That braking was just made possible thanks to a massive set of 4-piston monoblock calipers with a 360 millimeter or 14.2 inch front rotor. The wheels, they are a 21 by 8.5 with a positive 43.5 millimeter offset. They're not bad looking. They kind of look like Metallica designed them. They're wrapped in a set of two 55/40 Michelin Primacy all-season tires. The performance model comes with the adaptive road sensing suspension that utilizes the front camera and navigation system to scan the road and make preemptive adjustments to dampening for optimum handling and pothole mitigation abilities. Out back, you got another 360mm rotor, but with just a single pot caliper and same size wheel and tires up front. In the name of science, I am now going to give this thing the e-beans. First, I must conduct the bolstering assessment. Ow, it's not good bolstering. The seats are pretty though. I love the fact that the bolstering, piping, and stitching matches the exterior color, the Sampalo lime. Ventilated as well as heatilated. The steering wheel's heatilated. Two USB-Cs, a little net that's hollow. The door cards are suede. All this heated rear, no way. Heated rear seat also. Look at this strange glove box. What? Oh, it's a drawer. A little shade. Now, as far as drive modes go, on the steering wheel, there's a little button here that says drive mode. You press that and you can go from eco to comfort, which is comfy, into sport, and then hold it down for my mode, which is your mode. And you can use it for 10-second bursts as much as you want. It doesn't need a cool down. It just like hitting nitrous that never ends. Lastly, on top of all that, this thing has drift mode, which is as it sounds like. It's a drift mode. It allows the ass end to hang out sideways and do skid stuff. Drift mode activated. Down here on the left, I can disable my traction and stability control. Held mine down. That is fully off now. And let's launch this thing, see what it can do. Ready? Oh, jeez! Oh, man! Oh, boost! Oh, holy f***ing shit! That's good, that's so... Holy shit, this thing is fast! The real question is what happens if you hit boost before you take off. So, I gotta see. I gotta do this again. Okay, boost. All right, it says boost. Go. Oh my god, that's good enough. Holy shit. Oh my god, this thing is so awesome. Pop. That's pretty light, actually. Oh, it's satin finished. Poe, sound like the Teletubbies. That's just cardboard. It looks nice though. Underneath this frunk lid of the 2023 Genesis GV60 is one of two permanent magnet synchronous reluctance motors, each one capable of producing 180 kilowatts and a total combined system output of 483 horsepower and 516 pound-feet of torque at 0 RPM. Now that is while utilizing the boost feature on the steering wheel, which I'll get to that in a little bit, but that's a lot of juice. Speaking of juice, it operates at a peak 697 volts, and the system is capable of accepting either a 400 or 800 volt charge. Must investigate this little frunk cubby. That's nice. Oh, it's got a little net. Rubber mats, yes. It doesn't give you much access to see, but you can see a little bit of the electric motor and power inverter and integrated drive unit. Looks like access to change the cabin air filter right there. There's the AC pressure switch. Way down there, you can see the electronic variable steering rack. All those orange robot spaghetti cables. This plastic feels really durable. There's even a little foam weather seal around it too, keeps up dry. Okay. Washer fluid reservoir and the coolant expansion chamber. Brake master cylinder, easily accessible. 12 volt battery for accessories. The level 1 charger has this little screen, and right now it's displaying 12. That stands for the charge rate. So you can adjust it from 12 to 6 to 8 to 10. Little charge indicator right there.
Charging started.
Okay, thank you. Weird. This is smart. There's a little side access to put your charge cable so you don't have to pick up the entire thing. Okay, time to take this thing for a rip. So this little sensor right here on the rear door's B-pillar is actually a sensor that scans your face with facial recognition to unlock the car. So all I have to do is touch the door handle. You see that little circle? Turn green and unlock the car. Now I press the EV start button. That says verify digital key fingerprint. Or I can use the key. I left the key over there on the ground. It's not in the car with me. So I'm gonna put my finger on the fingerprint reader. Authenticated. Vehicle can now be started. Now I can start it. Ta-da! So the biometric system will allow you to drive this car without a key at all. You can leave the key at home. You don't have to put it on a curb a couple feet away. I just left that there because I'm out here filming in a parking lot. Guarantee I'll forget that thing here. In the center console right here, there's this crazy translucent glowing crystal ball that when you start the car, it rotates and it becomes the controls to put it in neutral, in reverse, in drive. And boost. Oh jeez! Holy shit! That boost feature is amazing. That's so fun. It makes driving this like playing a video game almost. Okay, first thing right off the bat, there is some body roll to this, and that's because it has that raised ride height to make it a utility vehicle, a CUV, a cute utility vehicle. Let's switch it into sport mode now. I had it in eco, and that's where you notice the biggest jolt when you hit the boost button, because eco limits the capability of the throttle in this thing. It makes it a lot slower, so your grandma can hop in here and not jump a sidewalk. And the boost feature just like overrides that completely, so it's super dramatic. You'll notice the simulated noise got a lot louder in here when I put it into sport mode. So I am going to go into my menu, go to sound. You can change how dramatic you want the sound to change based on your throttle input. It's in futuristic right now, that's my favorite. Now that's G engine. That's supposed to sound like a gasoline engine. It makes it sound like a two-stroke dirt bike. No, switch over to E-motor. Now, I wonder with the E-motor if that's actually just kind of enhancing the natural characteristics of how an electric motor sounds. I kind of like it. It's a little less dramatic than the futuristic. And then there's custom, which is really just allowing you to change volume levels of each one of those previous ones I went through. I like the dramatic. Yeah, I like the dramatic sound of the futuristic one. As far as the infotainment system goes, there's so much stuff packed into this menu, I could make a half-hour video on it alone. Like this, for instance, this is just the climate control settings. There is so much stuff that you can turn on, off, how you want it to act, when you want it to do, what it's gonna do. The car also has active noise canceling for road noise as well on top of that. Vehicle exterior color, oh, I love this. I've only ever seen this in the Acura NSX, and that's the ability to change the color of your vehicle's icon in the gauge cluster to actually match the production vehicle's paint scheme. A blue light filter? Are you serious? It's got a blue light filter for the screen at nighttime? There's some paddles on the back of the steering wheel, and you'll notice the sound gets quieter when I go all the way down to level 0. That's because there's less resistance for the regeneration cycle. Man, it's really powerful in level 3. And then when you go to max I-pedal, it's kind of one pedal driving, but it's not super aggressive in the braking area. As far as the rest of driving this vehicle goes, I love everything about it. I have almost no complaints with it except for one, and it's a pretty big one. And that's the fact that the range isn't really the greatest. When this thing was fully charged this morning, it showed 214 miles. That's about half of what I would want in a vehicle if I was gonna buy something like this to daily drive. Now, I have never reviewed a Tesla. I would like to, but they don't offer Tesla models for people to review unless you're like some kind of famous celebrity and live in Los Angeles. So I can't compare it against one. I have driven Tesla models before, and they're the same thing I liked about Teslas I'm feeling from this. Just the performance is next level, and I think this one kind of edges out Tesla as far as looks wise, but looks are subjective, so it's all on you to decide. And honestly, for the price, if you look at its competitors, in the tech that's in this thing, and the overall build quality, I feel is superb. They knocked out of the park with the GV60. If you're new and you've never seen one of my reviews before, I have multiple nonsensical ways of rating and assessing them. And if you don't understand, maybe someone in the comment section will help you out. First up, the bean score. The 2023 Genesis GV60 is getting a rating of doo-doo. Next is the cookie score. And this GV60 performance at just over 69 grand is getting a rating of. Moving on to the mechanic score. This vehicle, as it is equipped, is getting a rating of. And lastly, the penguin score, which is near and dear to my heart. This Sampalo Green, I'm sure I mispronounced that, GV60 performance, is getting a rating of. I love this. I think this is probably my favorite electric vehicle I've reviewed to date. The color did have something to do with that. But also, I don't care what letter they put in front of U and V to try to make this appeal to people as being a utility vehicle. It is not. It's a hot hatch in dire need of some coilovers. Slam it on its ass, keep the stock wheels, this thing would look fire. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this review, and I will see you soon with another. Bye!